Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to have a really great program today. We have as a guest today His Honor, the Honorable Damon Welch, Mayor of the City of Madison. And we're going to be talking to Damon about things going on where else but in Madison. But as usual, we're going to begin today's program with Don Heiderman. And Don, what's happening at the Tech?
Several things happening at the Tech, Hank. Good morning and welcome, everyone. We're completing the fourth week of our 16-week spring semester, which will end Saturday, May the 11th, and then Sunday, May the 12th, we'll be celebrating commencement at 1 p.m. at the Collier Arena, Hanover College. It's always a really, really great time. Those interested in attending our next term, the 8-week summer term that we have here at Ivy Tech, which begins Monday, June the 10th, can contact us at any time. Get in early, apply for financial aid, schedule the AccuPlacer, which is the reading, math, and writing evaluation that we offer all students to see what level courses they will begin in. Something you can't pass or fail. It's a placement kind of an exam.
Obviously, I've never taken it.
No. We don't know where to place you, Hank. And probably never will. Veterans come in to see me about applying for the GI Bill, Veterans Benefits. And it's just so easy to find out information about Ivy Tech from our website. You can just go in and Google Ivy Tech Madison. And that takes you to the Southeast Region webpage. I think everyone knows that we're in the Southeast region of the 14 regions of Ivy Tech, 5 counties in southeastern Indiana, and we have sites at Madison, Lawrenceburg, and Batesville. And it will take you right to that web page, Southeast web page. You can click on the Madison summer schedule, Batesville summer schedule, or whatever. There's a little statement there, enroll today. You can click on that. That takes you right to an admissions application. There's another icon there that will take you right to the online financial aid application where you can fill out the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA. So it's real easy. It's real easy. You can get in touch with us, 265-2580. 2580 is right down the phone line there, the dial pad. You'll get in touch with Tara or Allie. They'll get you in touch with the person who will answer your question. And so stop on in and see us anytime. We'd be glad to talk to you about anything as far as your future is concerned. This Saturday at 9 a.m., along with the Chamber of Commerce, Ivy Tech will be hosting the Third House. That's the legislative session. Dr. Kevin Watkins does a great job of getting our legislators together, and it'll be in the Business Conference Center here at Ivy Tech, and that begins at 9 a.m.
That's upstairs.
Upstairs in the Business Conference Center, yep. The Region 9 Regional Workforce Board will meet here Friday, February the 15th at 10 a.m. That's the 10 counties in southeastern Indiana, the Regional Workforce Board for our area. Public is certainly welcome to attend that, so come on. I'm sure they'd be glad to see you. The Monday and Tuesday, February the 18th and 19th, the AAMA accreditation visit will take place. The American Association of Medical Assisting, Annabette Garner, is our program chair for that program, and it's going to be a fairly smooth visit, I think. Annabette's really got things running smoothly, and our medical assisting program is one of our really great programs that we offer here at Ivy Tech.
Annabette's an Ivy Tech story.
She's an Ivy Tech success story. She certainly is.
Back a few years ago, I won't mention how many, wouldn't indicate her age. But I think she was the first person I hired as Human Resources Director when I was doing that. And she had an associate degree. She got her bachelor's degree, and just really applied herself and became the head of the medical assisting program.
She's been here a long time, Hank, but she's still a lot younger than you and I are.
Dirt is a lot younger than I am, but But, well, how about the spring semester? It kind of looks like spring out now. A few days ago, it's hard to call it spring semester. How's that going?
It's going really well. It's like I said, we're closing in on 4 weeks. That's a quarter of the way through the semester. I think it's about the middle of March. We'll begin our second 8-week term, and if anybody wants to come in, I'm sure we still have certain classes that are beginning, entry-level classes that they could get into if they wanted to improve on any of the remedial type skills in reading, math, or writing. I know we have the second 8-week classes in those areas, and it's a good way to get started, and it's really been smooth. It's kind of frighteningly smooth. The way that this semester has started, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop or something. Something has to go wrong. But the weather's pretty much cooperated with us. We're a little bit different than the school systems, local school systems, in the fact that we don't really have too many 2-hour delays, that kind of thing, because most of our morning classes begin at 9 a.m. We are a college, and the scheduling is quite a bit different than a K through 12.
We don't have school buses either.
We got one out in the parking lot. One of our students drives the school bus for the Madison school system. She got in touch with me and wanted to know if she could park her bus out there. We've got a pretty large parking lot, so we've been able to accommodate her.
Don, we've talked about this before, but very briefly before we will go to Damon. I've been here 29 years, and I remember reading when I came here that in the formation of the southeast region, somebody made the comment, or maybe it was somebody's plural, I'm not sure, but they'd never get over 500 students in southeastern Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was me that related that story. I think it was like in 1976. We were at First and Broadway, and we had our first North Central Association accrediting visit, regional accrediting visit, and we had 107 students. I remember that vividly. That's the number of students we had, and I thought that was a lot of students. And Dr. John Deedy was our first regional director. And we had no sites anywhere other than Madison, and the team came in, and Dr. Deedy and I were sitting there, and we were talking to them, and Dr. Deedy said the team said that you reach a level of comprehensiveness when you reach about 500 students, And Dr. Deedy said, well, we'll never reach 500 students. That will never happen here, Of course, that was several years ago, 1975 or 6, so it's real heartening to see how the college has grown and changed focus to some extent. We were Indiana Vocational Technical College, went to Ivy Tech State College. Now we're Ivy Tech Community College, and that really describes what we are and what we do.
With the recent acquisition of the beautiful and spacious Hillenbrand Forethought building in Batesville, the outstanding facility at Lawrenceburg, and this tremendous building here at Madison. We have the best facilities in the state of Indiana, and we don't have 500 students, though. We have over 4,000 students.
In the region, we certainly do.
In the region.
Yes.
Well, Don, we've talked to Don about what's going on with Ivy Tech. Let's talk to Mayor Damon Welch now. What's happening in Madison?
Lots happening in Madison, Hank, as you well know with your experience. But let me say, first of all, as Bob and I were walking down the hallway and just talking about what a wonderful facility this is, and I'm not just throwing that out there just for accolades, but I know sometimes when Jenny and I are sitting across and partaking of some food and where you can look straight over and see this campus, we're just blessed to have a community our size, to have a campus like this here in Madison. And Don knows I get a chance to work with him and have for the last year quite a bit, and look forward to working with him more. But Ivy Tech plays a very important part in the overall economic development structure of Madison. And I just appreciate the opportunity to sit with you and talk a little bit. I'll have to say we were joking a little bit before. Now, don't get any ideas, folks. Hank's a lot older than I am, but Hank doesn't remember. This is not my first interview with him. When I was in high school, 10 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. Back in
when you were a small child.
Yeah, when I was a small child. Hank was actually the voice of the Madison Cubs then, basketball, and of course I played basketball for a little while until the coach told me that Coach Ritter told me I better concentrate on cross country and track. But I did play for a little while through my sophomore year, and I don't know if Hank remembers, but my senior year, which would have been '71. When we went to the regional, and there was a couple of us kooks out of the senior class that dribbled basketballs up to Seymour. Wow! On a Friday night, and of course the game was the afternoon game Saturday. And I can remember on a Saturday morning, you passed us and said, "Hey, come up for an interview." So I know when we got up there, and 4 or 5 of us that did that, we went over and you interviewed us on the radio. One thing to end that story. The only problem is I hadn't been feeling too well, and my mom had told me not to do that. She never listened to basketball games on the radio, but she was listening that morning and heard me on the radio, and I got in trouble. So thanks a lot, Hank.
Hey, anytime.
And Don, I don't know if Don remembers. Of course, Don's a little bit older than I am too, but we used to shoot some hoops together over behind the old Muncie School when I was a kid, and
I remember that.
And one of his younger brothers too. So some great memories. You want to talk about what's going on in Madison now?
Hey.
Okay. It's been a busy year. If you haven't read the newspaper or listened to the radio, we've been talking a little bit about economic development. And I will tell you that, give you just a little bit of history of that. Back during the campaign, that's one of the things we talked about doing is that we wanted to, if I was elected, we want to take a look at how we did economic development here in our community. Not just the city, but the county. We wanted to do this as a partnership. But I think early on, most people, or there were certain people that were probably more interested in this than others, kind of just focused in on one part of the economic development situation here. I was wanting to look at it more from a total economic development standpoint, and because we've got a very diverse economy here, Hank, as you well know. We have manufacturing, we have some world-class industry here. We've got large business, small business. We've got a beautiful downtown, historic homes. People come just to see those homes. We've got a beautiful riverfront. We've got wonderful education systems here, including Ivy Tech and Hanover College. And there's just a lot more to the economy than just one aspect of it. So our goal was to take a look at how all the different entities that were doing economic development, how they were doing it, and whether it could be improved on. So it's been about a 9 to 12 month process, and I think we're coming to a point now, Don, I think you'll agree with me, that we're ready to move forward with a plan, and it's not my plan, it's a community's plan, but that's consumed a lot of our time, but at the same time, I'm pretty excited about where we are with it, and so we're going to move forward with that. Some other things, I've got a couple of staff here with me in the room today, but we had over 300 ADA, I don't know what you call them, citations or whatever, but when we came into office, and I'm just saying that's happening to all the communities, having to get up to snuff on these ADA compliant things, and I think we've made some really good headway. Just some things to list, some of the projects. Believe it or not, the dog park was not in compliance, so that's one thing we've done. Broadway Fountain had some issues. I'm not sure if we've got this in, but I know this year all the swimming pools are supposed to have the lifts, and we're in the process of getting that in at Crystal Beach. I'm not even sure we can open up this year without that. We're also in the process of doing a sidewalk and park survey as far as how we are compliant with ADA. So we're making a lot of progress in communicating with them. I don't know if you all are signed up on our texting service that that Andrew Forrester and Alec Licklider helped us get into last winter. But we have over, I think it's close to 1,300 people on that now. And if you're on that, anytime we put information out, text it out, it immediately goes to all these people. It's been a really blessing for like storm warnings and roads that were closed, or when the bridge is having some things going on. And almost every day we get someone that wants to sign up on that. So I don't know if you've heard some of the reports, but we actually won a website contest. So we're going to enter into a contract with a website company. They're going to completely put us up a completely new website. We're going to be able to do a lot of things that we can't do right now. So we're in the process of doing that. We're partnering with a school right now. There's been a lot of talk for years about a crosswalk from that one entrance to the high school, Madison High School, over to McDonald's. You know, a lot of the students, not only from the high school, but from the junior high, come across there after games and things. Now, this is not going to be one that goes across, but it will be a marked crosswalk with being able to push the button. It'll be, you know, with the lines and stuff. So we're excited about partnering with the school. That should get done sometime this spring or summer, working with the state and one of our elected state officials on that. A couple of sewer projects. I mean, just the day-to-day operation of a city, as you know, Hank, there's always something to do, whether it's paving of streets. We paved several streets this past summer that some of them hadn't been done in over 20 years. And of course that takes money. You have to have a priority, and I don't know, sometimes citizens don't understand that, but we're trying to get caught up on that. Some sewer projects, and we know drainage is always an issue, especially when you have a big rainfall. And I think we're making some headway there too, but we've got a lot more to do and that we want to do. I don't think I mentioned phase 1 of Hutchinson Lane actually open now. I think that's known as J.A. Berry now, in honor of Julie Berry, who was a commissioner for, I think, 3 terms. And actually, we were out there the other day. Now, it's not completely finished. They're going to finish up the permanent. I think they're going to put one more, some surface on it, and then some striping. But right now, they did open it up before the end of the year, and there's traffic on it. We were out there the other day and was happy to see semis using it now, and it's really a nice stretch of road there. And hopefully in the next year or two we'll be able to get back to phase 1 of that, which would come on over and connect Michigan Road. So those are some things we've been doing. A lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to probably the most important facility we have in this city, and that's the water pollution control plant. Down on the west end of town there. It's by far the most important facility we have in this town because it takes care of all our sewage, and it's a very important, and not to mention it gets a lot of scrutiny from the EPA and Indiana Department of Environmental Management. So a few years ago, because of EPA regulations, we had to start a 3-phase project. We just are into phase 3 of that now. We've got phase 1 and 2 done. It's actually going to be about a $10 million project. But, I mean, that's one of those things where you just don't say, well, no, we don't want to do that. You have to do it. So we're partnering with an engineering company that we chose late last summer, and we're in the initial process of that. I think that should be done in 2015, Bob, I think. That should really get us up to snuff in that area. I think, well, one more thing I want to mention that we're looking at now was mentioned at the council meeting the other night is our campground, which that's another facility that people don't realize. I mean, we could double the size of that and keep it full. It's down there on the river, just on the other side of the bridge, kind of down at the bottom of Ferry Street. But that's been needing some upgrading, electrical upgrading and water pipes upgrading. So we're going to tackle that Matter of fact, probably in the next month or so, we're going to get started on it. There could be a little bit of a delay on the opening of that this summer, but we're kind of looking at that as phase one. We want to do some expanding of that campground too in the future, but that'll be a start for us. So one other thing would be the tennis courts at Shaw, which, although that's on Shaw property, I think there was an agreement entered into 20 plus years ago that we would lease that, the city would lease those tennis courts, because you see people playing there all the time. It's open to the community, and part of our responsibility is to resurface that and every so often when it needs it, and that's in the works for probably this spring or summer. So got a lot going on, and we're excited about the future.
It sounds like it. You mentioned the campgrounds. That's a summer home for a lot of people.
Absolutely. It sure is.
They go down and take their camper and spend the entire summer down there. What about the bridge?
I didn't mention that, did I? Can I take credit for that bridge? I'm not sure I can. Sometimes because it's been in the works here for a couple of years, we kind of forget what's going on there. And probably the most exciting thing that's happening here. And we talk a lot about that. I personally think that if everyone remembers what happened with the Sherman-Minton Bridge in Louisville when that was closed down for 6 months, it's my opinion that if that would have happened before this was in the works here, before we had gotten that grant, we probably wouldn't be looking at a new bridge here now. So we were blessed in that area. But and then I can remember I was on the council when they got this grant and they started talking about the bridge being closed for 12 to 18 months. And by the way, if that would have been the way we built that, it would have been close to 2 years that bridge would have been closed down already. So thank goodness for creative minds that said, let's sit down at the table and try to figure out a better way to do this, with the closure of the bridge being the number one priority to look at. And when they did that, they came up with this amazing way of building the bridge where we've already been closed down half the time. That was the 4 days when they put up the temporary ramps, and hopefully it'll just be 4 or 5 more days when they're ready to slide that whole bridge over. So that's exciting.
It is. That's going to be an international
Absolutely
impact for bridge construction. One of the reasons I brought that up, you mentioned economic development. That's a major plus in the economic development plan to have the bridge redone.
And I don't know how many people are paying that much attention to it, but that bridge will be, twice as wide as it is right now with a walkway. One thing that I can go ahead and mention too is that you may be reading a little bit about it, is that the permanent egress coming off on the Indiana side, and I know Mayor Armstrong was involved in that at the time, and we thought we had funds set aside for that to happen, because this Tiger grant that they got for the bridge was just the bridge. It had nothing to do with the permanent egresses on either side. But he thought that we had some promises there of being able to do that. There's already been plans on 4 or 5 different routes coming off that bridge. Of course, the one right now we've had all these years is 2 90-degree turns, before you get up to Main Street, or actually 3. And we feel like that the best option is to come straight off the bridge and come straight up and hook into 56 or Main Street there. So we felt like it was important for us to get started on that. A lot of industry leaders feel that it's going to be a very important part of economic development. We see a lot of things happening there because we're approaching this as this will be a gateway into Madison. We'll have a new bridge, not only into Madison, but to Indiana. And that area right there, of course, I remember when I was a kid, there was about 4 or 5 gas stations and stuff, but right now that's kind of a little depressed area. We feel like we can really do some great things right there, as well as come off the bridge and hook it up to the riverfront also. So there's some exciting things going on. You have to as you know, when you worked in City Hall yourself, you have to jump through some hoops to get all this done. But we're trying to move forward with all that.
Of course, City Hall itself, pretty nice. I at one time suggested to then Mayor Dr. Warren Rucker that when they were talking about needing a new City Hall in the future, buying the Delta Queen and docking it at West Street, that then when the natives got restless, we could just float out of town.
Float down to Hanover.
I like that idea.
It's getting close to the time when you're going to be getting calls saying, during a literal thunderstorm, will there be Little League today?
Uh-huh. Exactly. And we can get back to our texting service, which we were able to use last year, which was wonderful. You know, Dave could just put on there, hey, games are canceled tonight because of weather or whatever. And so that's been a great thing there, too. But, yeah, we're getting ready to get into the spring and summer of sports. And if I might, sometimes I forget to do this, but, you know, we have 4 or 5 major festivals here in the summertime that just are doing great. And they're also a very important part of our economic development. And I think the first one kicks off in May, I believe, and that's River Roots. And then in July, of course, we have the regatta. I think it's going on its 61st year or something like that. Then in August, we have the River Fest, and, of course, the Chautauqua in September. And always have the tour homes. And, you know, we had a great Christmas parade this past year, too. Aaron Kelsey from the high school did a wonderful job. I know he's got even bigger plans for next year. So we've got a lot of good things going on, Hank.
Well, and you've got the #1 unlimited hydroplane that the city owns. Going to wear the U-1 again, which to me just boggles my mind, having been associated with it for so long. Used to stand out in the middle of the road with buckets begging for money.
That's right.
and now it's for several times now. This is a third or fourth time maybe. Mm-hmm. It's been the national champion starting the new season this weekend.
It's funny you should mention that, because as we speak, there are some signs being made that are going to, when you come into town, you're going to be able to see that. So that was mentioned by someone you would know. Came in and talked to me recently. I said, hey, we have a sign recognizing our 1950 state champ team and our 1999 baseball champ team. How about our boat? I said, hey, that sounds great. So we got Doug Vest and his crew on that, and so you should be able to see that when you come into town here pretty soon.
Any exciting things we can look for in the near future?
No.
Okay. As for the future, there is none.
No, there are. I mentioned a couple of them, but of course, sometimes there's some things that well, Don, you know what I'm talking about. There's always things on the horizon that, in the initial stages of talk, that for more than one reason you can't always bring out, because sometimes that messes up the process. But I'll just tell you, it could be a very, very exciting year, and I mean, I think it's going to be, and we're going to move forward. So there are some really good things that we're looking at, and Madison is just, Hank, it's just a wonderful town, and we gotta just focus on the positives. And if you compare, and I know it's not always right to compare communities, but sometimes you have to do that. And for the size of our community and what we've been through, and we're not on a major interstate here and things of that nature, we do wonderful, and we're going to focus on the things that we can do well and move forward with economic development.
King's Daughters Health will be opening their new campus.
Absolutely, Don.
In a couple weeks. And it's real exciting about Trilogy taking over the downtown campus there, the opportunities and I'm sure challenges that they'll face, but it's what a great use of that facility.
Well, Damon, we've only touched the surface. We're going to have to get you back on sometime.
Absolutely. I'd be glad to.
Mayor Damon Welch, and Madison's still here. I give Damon a hard time. I've known him for many years. Doing a great job, and You can hear this program, by the way, Saturday at 9:05 a.m. on 1270 a.m. on your radio dial. And Don, Ivy Tech's still here too.
We're still here. Stop in and see us anytime. Be glad to talk to you about your future.
Until the next Tech Talk, this is Hank Vince on behalf of Don Heiderman and Damon Welch. Have a great day.